If I put my company's logo on an LV shirt, can I claim it as a deductible business expense? I have heard a lot of people giving this advice that if you add a logo inside a clothing, then it will be a deductible business expense. Adding a logo does not automatically transform your ordinary clothing into deductible uniform expense. So in today's lesson, we're going to go deep dive into the clothing expenditure. Clothing is a high abuse area. So IRS has a very strict regulations around it. In order to qualify for the deduction, you need to meet three tests. The first test is your clothing should be required or essential as a part of employment. Second test is clothing should not be suitable for general or personal wear. And third is the clothing should not be worn as a general or personal use. Clothing is always a personal expenditure unless you prove otherwise. So the onus and then the burden of proof is on the taxpayer. So whenever you want to deduct the clothing as a business expenditure, you need to be very careful about it. Out of the three tests, one test where IRS critically examine you and the most people fail is the second test where it says that the clothing should not be suitable for general or personal wear. Because while assessing that test, IRS doesn't see whether you will use it outside of work or not, but IRS sees it from the angle that whether the average people will use it outside of work. Let's take example of Rolex. You might argue that you will not use a Rolex outside of work, but general people might use the Rolex outside of work, and that's when the expenses get disallowed. Now I'll present you two tax code decisions where the taxpayers' um, clothing expenditure were disallowed by the code on the various ground. The first one is regarding the anchor who was supposed to be presentable on air. So she and her employer gave her a guidelines of what she could wear on air and what she couldn't wear. So she purchased the clothes based on her employer guidelines and get it deducted in the tax return. But later, um, the tax court decided and denied all her clothing deductions on the ground that it was suitable for general or personal wear outside of work. There's another case in case of a pilot where the court and the IRS rejected the idea of treating the uniform as a bundle and they applied the item by item test and they rejected the items such as black coat, black socks, black shoes, though it was a part of a pilot's uniform, were suitable for everyday wear. The Supreme Court reinforced the principle that the ordinary clothing, even though it's required as a part of employment, if it's suitable to be used outside of work, it will be disallowed. So next time when you're confused whether to deduct the clothing expenses or not in your books, please refer to this video. And I just want to introduce myself. Hi everybody, my name is Nirvana. I am a CA from India and I'm a CPA from US. I finished my exam last year and my license is pending and channel for everybody, especially the entrepreneurs. So I'll be coming with a business content every week, hopefully. uh, so yeah, I just want to be useful for the people and share the knowledge I have. Yeah, so I'll see you next time. Bye.